This is the hidden truth about the Fortnite Orb. This will all make sense later in the video. There is something very special you do not know about Bob the Orb, the brand new orb that spawned into the Fortnite world. Ladies and gentlemen, he's brand new, and let's just say that we have found some leaks that we need to share with you guys right now inside of this video. Relating to the orb itself, obviously, this orb came from the live event. We are going to explain exactly where he came from, the entire situation, and what this actually means for the game of Fortnite. And you're also probably wondering what is going to be happening in the future with this orb itself. There is something crazy that's going to be happening. Give some background as to where this orb has come from.
If you remember the unvaulting event where we unvaulted the drum gun only a few months ago, you would remember Bob the Orb is actually the Nexus, and the Nexus was all the way down there, and it is said to be powering all of Neo Tilted, and especially the fact that it is the main power source for most, if not all, of the rifts. And the fact that it's above ground now is very, very bad.
Obviously, you are aware from the live event that just happened, the monster tried stealing the orb and absorbing all of the power from the orb itself. This would have been extremely, extremely bad because this would have resulted in the Fortnite island itself, well, being destroyed because obviously we know that the monster itself is bad. The robot took all the power for itself, and let's just say that there is a consequence involving that. And before we all explain what is going on, I just want to say there are some crazy, crazy leaks we found involving this orb, which shows exactly what it's going to be doing within a few days. I am going to be showing you this later inside of the video, so just make sure to stick around. Shadok will explain the consequence and explain what's going on.
So if you remember on the loading screen that you got for completing all 100 Fortnite, Jonesy was not warning us about the monster fight. He was actually warning us about the orb itself, because the entire fight, it was just to bring the orb up above ground, and now that the orb is unstable and used because of the fights. So the truth is that Jonesy was warning us about the orb itself. The orb is actually very, very bad because the whole monster event, Jonesy wasn't warning us about the monster event. He was warning us about the orb, which was brung in the monster event. And this is actually really, really bad because the leaks that we found show a lot of bad stuff happening.
This is all going to make sense once again later on inside of the video when I show you the leaks, but all of you guys are most likely wondering, how is this all connected? Right now, I am on Donald Mustard's Twitter. He is actually the person who helps develop the live events itself in Fortnite. He is very, very involved, and every single time something happens involving a live event, he changes his location. His location right now says the 0 point. The 0 point, ladies and gentlemen, is right here. How do we know that the 0 point is right here? We have some crazy information that nobody is really even realizing, going all the way back from season 4 of Fortnite. We're going to get into this right now. This is extremely complicated, so I want you all to pay very, very close attention. Otherwise, this will not make sense. And this will show how all of the live events were actually connected. And well, the fate of Fortnite Season 9, the fate of Fortnite Season 10, well, it's not looking good, guys. All I could say, stick around in this video because this is about to get crazy, including the leaks we're about to show later on. We're about to show something on the rocket footage from last year. For those of you who have not seen the rocket footage, this is extremely important. You probably think it's unrelated, but this actually completely relates to Fortnite Season 9 and even Fortnite Season 10. The rocket launch is actually how we know exactly what is going on. We're going to play some footage right now, and I need to tell you why this is related. Shadok will explain right now.
If you look at the footage, exactly when the visitor talks, he says the exact words 0 point oscillator on, set coordinates.
So there you have it. The visitor said 0-point accelerator, and you can literally see from Donald Mustard's Twitter, the 0 point is the location he is at right now. We are at the 0 point, which the visitor was talking about. Shadical, how is this related? What is going on? Everybody wants to know. Take it away.
If you look up at what an oscillator is, it is actually something that generates power. And when the rocket went through the sky, it left the crack, which formed the cube. Now, if you guys are thinking exactly what I'm thinking, the cube is the oscillator. It is the thing that is creating all the power. And on top of that, the cube literally did create the alien vault. And now we have the Nexus, also known as Bob the Orb, which is the actual power source. The visitor was trying to create the cube all along to get to this exact point where the power source is here.
This is obviously not a coincidence, and let's just say what's going to happen next is going to be even crazier. Let's get into what's going to happen, and we still need to show you the leaks of the orb itself and what's going to happen. We're about to show you another leak that we just got, and this is extremely important. This is literally related to the butterfly event. What does this all mean?
Well, when the cube exploded, we were obviously teleported in between, also known as the area down there inside the vault. But what I think personally, when the cube exploded, we were actually teleported inside this orb right here, which obviously has the butterfly and a bunch of other stuff inside it. So this means that the cube and the orb are powered by the same thing, which is this white energy that's coming out of the orb right now. So whenever the orb explodes, it is going to change the map a lot.
The skeleton of the Fortnite monster is very, very important. Why it's here and how this actually relates to the orb itself. Shadical, what is going on? How is this all related, bro? Showing you footage right now of the live event right when it happened, when the monster first became a skeleton, and you could see that there was no moss at all, or no grass, whatever, on the skeleton. But now there's a lot of change in a very short amount of time. Shadical, what's going on?
If you look at the sword that the monster was eliminated with, you would know that it also has the power of the orb. Now, it shows us what kind of powers the orb actually has. For it being in the ground for such a short amount of time, we already see how the monster has so much moss on it, and it hasn't even been a day since the event ended. The reason this is so concerning is actually because it takes years in real life for moss to get this overgrown, and seeing how it's only been a few hours since the event ended.
This is extremely concerning because, ladies and gentlemen, the power of the orb itself, once the orb explodes, which it definitely will, we have proof of it later on, which we will still show you, that based on what happened to the skeleton of the monster, might actually happen to the rest of the Fortnite map. This is extremely bad. We don't know exactly what's going on. It is going to be bad, ladies and gentlemen. So this brings us back to the orb itself. What is about to happen to it? What does Fortnite have in store for us for season 10? Let's go to the leak right now because this is extremely, extremely important. Shadical, are you ready?
Let's do it, dude. This is going to change Fortnite forever.
We just turned off the recording and turned it back on because if we look at the orb itself, you can notice that it is completely different. It is experiencing a whole lot more energy, and we are going to explain exactly how this makes sense, exactly what is going on right now, and we still need to show you all of the leaks. We actually found even more leaks.
So when this thing explodes, which is probably going to be between season 9 and 10 during the downtime, what's probably going to happen at the very least, guys, this thing is incredibly active. I'm about to draw out a circle of how big the radius of this thing could go.
As you can see, this is extremely big. This is what Shadical's drawing out right now. This is in the range of Neo Tilted. The energy of this orb itself, it is almost 100% sure what is powering Neo Tilted itself, because you can see right at this vault, the wires coming from Neo Tilted are all going into here. It is bolted down, and this is right where the orb is. So once the orb explodes, say goodbye to Tilted Towers. Something's going to be happening. We're going to be experiencing a huge, huge change, and that is not all. We have some crazy more leaks.
Tilted is not going to have power anymore. It's probably no longer going to be futuristic when we come back.
We're on the leaked video from Fortory right now. You can see stage 1. This is now stage 2. You can see that the name of the orb itself is destabilized. That's destabilized in the files, which obviously means that the orb itself is no longer as stable, which means it's getting more powerful, and something's going to happen if it's not stable. You can see obviously it has cracks in it. It looks like it's going to explode. Stage 3 right here. here, ladies and gentlemen, it's the least stable out of all of the stages. A lot faster, as you can see. This is absolutely crazy, but we're going to look into it further and have another crazy theory video coming out for you guys as soon as possible. Subscribe to the channel and be the first to know what is going on.